Good morning, y'all. So I've had a lot of stuff going on. I know I've been going live quite a bit, and that is actually a trend that's going to continue. But one of the things we're going to do is we're going to start putting the KBF seminar series together to where I do live versions of the seminars, and we're working on a system to where behind the camera I can see questions and I can answer those in live Q&A sessions. So it'll be a lot like the seminar that we do at Bienville Plantation, not quite as in depth, but we're going to do a KBF seminar series next year live and in person. But for you guys that can't make it to one of those events, don't have access to it, we're going to start doing the videos that get into some of those subjects. Obviously, I won't be able to go as in-depth as I will at the live seminar sessions, but I'm going to start sharing a lot of that information through the channel. That being said, one of the first things I want to talk about is the fact that, our channel has grown really well. The subscriber growth isn't what it should be, I feel like, based on the quality of stuff that we've got and how much information that we put out. One of the things that has actually come up in comments repeatedly, and we've kind of thought this may be the case, is that people see the channel as kayak fishing only. One of the things we're going to do this year is Christy and I are going to start doing a lot more wade fish. There she is. We're going to start doing a lot more wade fishing. We're going to start doing a lot more fishing, from a boat. We're going to start doing a lot more, backcountry, backpacking fishing, which is going to be part of our fitness plan. And so can you sit up, or is that as far as you go? Just scoot up a little bit so you don't look like a head in the corner of the video.
I can get on my
There
leg.
we go.
Look, I'll sit on my legs.
All right, so they said, hey, Christy.
Hi.
So one of the things that we are really focused on now is the whole fitness thing. And I talked about that in the video, and one of the immediate comments was, dude, I don't want to hear about you talking about fitness. And we basically watch you for fishing. You're not an expert on fitness. And you know what? Here's the thing. I didn't really like that comment when I first saw it, but after I kind of digested it a bit, I agree. What we're going to do is we're just going to show little snippets of what we're doing so that we at least throw the pebble at the glass that says, hey guys, we are doing this, and so should you. And then chronicling our progress through the Weigh In Wednesday Facebook page and through updates on the channel. But we're not going to get overboard with it on this channel. It's not a fitness channel. What I'm going to do is, as I learn better things to do and as we figure out things that work for us, we're going to share them and then send the link to where we find that information. For example, I like this channel, Danny Gets Fit. He's a Canadian dude. He conveys the message really well. So anytime I need motivation, I go over there and watch his channel. And what I'm going to do is take little things from him, share them with you, and then give him credit for it and send you over to his channel for him to get, give you the more in-depth analysis of it. So back to the whole channel thing. I get this comment, and you guys might not all see it, is at least once a week. Hey man, I've been watching you for years. Didn't subscribe because I thought your channel was nothing but kayak fishing, and I don't kayak fish, so I just check in occasionally. The #1 search return on this channel is actually my name, which means a lot of people appreciate what I'm doing, and they jump on YouTube, they search my name, they go watch the video, and then they're out. So we're going to change the channel name to just my name. It makes more sense because it's a little bit of everything that I do. I'm a big hunter, and I love to hunt, but I haven't had time this year. But next week, Christy has made it to where I can actually just take off a couple days and go deer hunting. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to share that on my social media. I'm not really going to share it on this channel other than maybe shouting out, hey, this is what happened this weekend, blah, 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 and then maybe cut to a picture to motivate other people and let people know that that's part of what I do. So, yeah, I appreciate that. Paul said, it's your channel. You can do whatever you want to do. I get that, but it's also our channel. We've created this community here with the KBF Nation, and I want to continue to grow that atmosphere. I really take from you guys what it is that you want to see. And so this week, I'm releasing some more videos. And that's funny. John said, how about Chad,
It's
KBF
funny.
Hoover? So
the Hoovers.
we're going to do, I got a buying and outfitting your fishing kayak video coming out. I've got one about Made in America, what that means to me. I've got fishing in the rain coming next week, or in the next 2 weeks. I've got a video about PFDs that I think is very important. And then I got a video about how to drag your kayak, just the ones that are queued up now and ready to go. So what we're going to do is also go live a couple of times a week, do question and answers. I feel like it's a little more intimate for me to do the subscriber question and answer live so that more questions can pop up, and then I can use that to answer the next question. So we're going to be changing the channel name. Hope it doesn't create heartburn for anybody. If you're subscribed, it won't change anything. And we are going to blow up the KBF Nation next year. Our tournament series is going through the roof. The payouts are going through the roof. We have an MOAT that you're going to have to join the Kayak Bass Fishing group to learn more about. It's going to be a link to that in the description box. So if you haven't joined it, join the KBF the KBF group that I'll put the link to in the description box. If you're even slightly interested in fitness and a little bit more in depth of what we're doing, the Weigh In Wednesday Facebook group is in the link below. And then we're going to commit to doing a lot more of the vlogish style stuff that people want to see, that because we're so slammed with our business and everything else that we're doing, we don't have time to shoot vlog style videos for YouTube. We're going to start bringing you guys a lot more of that stuff in the story on our Facebook page and the story on our Instagram page. So check that stuff out. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. We want to hit that 50,000 mark by the end of the year. I've said this once. If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. I care more about the 45,000 subscribers that I have now than the next 45,000 subscribers that I get. Every now and then somebody will jump on the channel and make a commentary about, you know, how I should have more subscribers, and I get it, and we work hard, but we're not hyper focused on that number. We're hyper focused on putting out quality content and just feeling like if we build it, they come. So Sean O'Connell said, I put a video out about a giveaway, but I put a link. The link is in the description box. Somebody else commented about that, but if you go back to the video, maybe you need to refresh your page, but the winners are in the description box of that video, because we've already had emails from a couple of those winners, so I know for sure that it's there. We're filming our butts off and fishing our butts off this fall. Christy caught her personal best smallmouth yesterday. When I put this video out, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, man, she caught it on live bait. Listen, I wanted to enjoy a trip where I just got to see her show up and bow up. So we hired a guide. We went out live bait fishing. She caught 8 smallmouth. There was 5 of them in the 19-inch range, a couple in the 18-inch range, a couple 17. She caught one 20 inches and just was, you know, happier than a pig in mud. And so as part of this evolution of a fisherman, I got to take her back to the beginning and some of this stuff instead of expecting her to kind of jump in at the pro level going fishing with me and Gene. So I'm going to show you guys a lot of that. And, you know, I don't get into this whole, oh, you shouldn't fish that way or you should fish that way. A lot of people kind of evolve through the fishing ranks and they become an artificial fisherman and then look down their nose at somebody that live baits fishes, but then they did it, you know, kind of on their way up. So to me, I have to think about it in the context of where you're at and your progression as an angler. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to show more of that. I'm really excited about heading to East Tennessee, heading to central and southeastern Kentucky, and maybe even up into Kentucky a little further, and doing some of these mountain streams and fly fishing and, you know, doing a lot of that stuff. So I'm going to keep the fitness updates coming. I'm going to keep the channel content flowing. We're going to change the name of the channel. I know that that's going to cause some rift. The trail list is not done for 2018. It'll be done around December 1st and posted on the Kayak Bass Fishing members only page first, and then after that it'll go to the next page. So Ethan Brett said, can I ask a question? Well, you asked a question by saying, can you ask a question?
Go ahead and ask,
so go ahead and ask the question. I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock. We're going to do some question
that was
and
already
answers.
asked while he's writing his. So a little bit ago while he was talking, somebody said something that they wanted to buy their KBF membership, but they found out that it ran January to January, and that is true. But you don't have to wait till January to buy it. We are actually going to have our 2018 KBF memberships ready to go for Black Friday. So
yeah, so get ready. End of this week, you guys can join the KBF Nation.
Yeah.
This year, we're going to do some stuff that benefits you for being a KBF member, regardless of whether or not you fish tournaments. That's one of the things that hiring Christy full-time, she has been like, we have got to make this a benefit to guys that don't care about fishing big tournaments. So we are going to have a Get Some promotion. We talked about that a little bit the other day. Hashtag Get Some, and we're going to give away stuff based on the Sticker of the Month exclusive, which is going to be these stickers that come in your package. And Chad, why ain't you fishing the moon phases perfect? Well, we should, but we're focused on fitness today. We fished the last couple days, and I do agree with you, but it's also blowing about 40 here.
Yes,
so
it is.
God bless these guys that are out
ridiculous today.
Grinding it out for the KBF trail.
On the lake. Yeah.
But yeah, we're fishing. We're hiking a trail today.
Yeah, 4.5 miles.
We're gonna bring you guys some of the trails between, or the miles between outside the truck.
I don't say anything funny when I walk
which I
on
think
a
is
trail.
gonna be funny. Y'all are gonna love it. Yeah. So is Kentucky. Did Ethan come back with his question? Ethan, question.
Sorry, we were talking. I forgot to be watching the
Maybe
screen.
we missed it. Ethan, post your question again. All Pro Rods is coming along. We're right there. Trust me when I tell you.
Just in time for Christmas.
Trust me when I tell you. You won't be able to not know once we get All Pro Rods.
It'll be pretty.
I'm gonna be
out
running
there.
around with rods in my hand. I'm gonna be screaming from the top of the highest mountain. You'll know. 4.5 miles. Mad props, bro. Thanks. That's her. That's all her. But yeah, we're gonna do the loop. Well, he said should be good for 20 pounds. Ha! Probably. Me, because I got about 100 to lose.
Y'all, I'm so upset. I just keep on keeping the same thing, even though I'm doing all this activity.
Okay, so here's Ethan.
recommend
How would you recommend getting started as far as lures go? I see people like you have boxes and boxes of lures, blah, blah, blah. All right, so Ethan, here's what I would tell you. If you're just getting started, you can tell him
about how you started the boys.
Okay, no, I'm going to tell him that's a little different. If you're going to start with 5 lures to get you started in bass fishing, I'm going to recommend my top 5 to get you started. Everywhere around the world, around the country, and every type of fishing, a soft plastic lizard will catch fish. So I would buy some 3/0 worm hooks, a pack of June bug or black or pumpkin seed lizards. I would dip the tip of the tail in a little bit of, JBs or Spike It or something like that to give it a little contrast. I'd get me some Woo Tungsten in 1/8 ounce and 1/4 ounce and start with that, and then you could add more weight later on. But fish that lizard Texas rigged. So go back in my channel in the Just the Tip section and look for a Texas rigged lizard. That is a universal year-round. I've caught fish on it in 37-degree water, and I've caught fish on it in 97-degree water. So the lizard works really well. The next thing that I would say is Senkos. You can't go wrong with Senkos, and there's a lot of different colors, and Yamamoto's probably going to hate me for saying this, and a lot of different colors do work in different situations better than others. But get yourself some green pumpkin with black fleck and black with blue fleck and be done with it until you decide you want to get a little bit further. After your Senkos, now I'm keeping this in the Senko category. After your Senkos are torn up, cut the tips off and make Ned rigs out of them. Now, you also can make a Ned rig that doesn't hang up as bad by cutting the back end, make it about 3.5, 4 inches long, and use a bullet weight and a worm hook and make a little weedless Ned rig. That is going to get you more mileage out of your Senkos, and that is also going to get you more fish, especially with smaller fish, to build your confidence. So we're going to go with a lizard. We're going to go with a Senko. After that, get yourself a 1/2 ounce football jig. You can get more jiggy with it later on, but start off with a 1/2 ounce football jig and get it in 2 colors. Get a black with blue and get a green pumpkin with some black in it. With the green pumpkin, take that joker and find yourself some orange dye, whether it's Spike It or JB's or any of the other colorings out there, and dip the very, very tiny tip of the skirt in that orange, and that's going to give it a little bit of contrast. It's going to make the bait fish pick at it, and after the bait fish are sitting there picking at it and the bass swims up and they spook, they're going to pick it up. So a jig is a confidence bait once you fish it and once you catch big bass on it. A jig catches big bass. I cannot lie. Anyway, so A jig. So we're going to go to lizard, a Senko, a jig. Now this next one I'm going to tell you is something that is personal to me, but I feel like if you do that, remind me to talk about that podcast thing. If you do that, this next one, and you leave everything else at home and you force yourself to fish it till you catch a fish on it, excuse me, you'll be hooked and you won't go anywhere. Go with a topwater frog, a hollow body frog. And hollow body frogs are not just for fishing in vegetation. They're not just for fishing in lily pads. You can throw them around the bank, around shallow wood, around whatever, and they're going to flat annihilate it.
You know what I've learned about the frog?
Yeah, what's that?
That you can fish them anywhere, because I don't think I've ever been anywhere that a fish doesn't. I mean, a frog.
They'll annihilate it. They'll annihilate it.
A frog lives everywhere.
Yep.
So a frog doesn't just live in like those froggy fishing places.
In that frog cat, well, and a lot of times they don't think it's a frog because a frog don't go across the water surface like that. So it looks like a rodent. It looks like something escaping. So depending on how you fish it, how fast you fish it, hopping the nose up and down, steady reeling it and buzzing it across the top, they just flat annihilate it.
We look like one of those 1980s.
Yeah, because of this paneling right here.
It looks like those marriage counseling things with the
kind of yellow too
behind us.
So anyway, so lizard, Senko, jig, topwater frog, and then last but not least, I'm going to tell you that I'm not going to recommend a whopper plopper just because I feel like it's kind of the next deal. But you need to get yourself a topwater of some type, whether it's a buzzbait, a whopper plopper, or a walk the dog style bait like a Spook Junior. I will say this. If I was going to recommend one of those to get started with, I would say that a walk the dog style bait, whether it's a Sexy Dog Junior from Strike King, a Spook from Head and Lures, or one of those. And then I would say that that's your top 5 to get you started. Very shortly thereafter, add in some buzz baits, add in some spinner baits, add in some whopper ploppers and things like that. And then if you are very confident if you're not very confident in top waters, but you want to have that top water experience, then I would say get yourself a soft body swim bait, something like a Money Minnow, a Zoom swimmer, a Strike King Rage swimmer, and you can fish it weightless and buzz it on the surface and they'll annihilate it. You can put a little bullet weight under it and bulge it, and you can kill it. And so John said, which one is more effective, the Sexy Dog or the Sexy Dog Junior? I personally like the Sexy Dog Junior when the water is slicked out, when there is no wind, and when there's high pressure. I like the Junior. I like to slow it down and get that tuk, 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 tuk. It's a little higher pitch than a Spook Junior. A Spook Junior is more of a knock, and so I really like it in low light so that deeper sound kind of penetrates the water more. For some reason, smallmouth just like it better, and it sits in the water a little different. That weight's in the back, and it's a bigger ball. It's got a knock instead of a rattle. And so in a super high pressure situation and no wind and super calm conditions, that's what I like to use. But spinner baits, the only reason I didn't throw spinner baits in the primary category is because it's a little bit more complicated to find the right spinner bait. But let's put this in the extra category. Get yourself a 1/2 ounce whitened chartreuse with a nickel primary blade and a gold kicker blade, a little gold Colorado kicker, and that'll get you started. And after that, you can get in a little bit more in depth with it, understanding what sky conditions affect the water surface and what color you need to use just below the surface to get it to contrast. Because whether you know it or not, when a fish is looking up, the surface of the water is sometimes a mirror, sometimes it scatters the light, sometimes it's transparent. So you got to learn all that stuff to really be the most effective with, the most effective with your spinnerbait. So in that last kind of bonus category, get yourself a spinnerbait. You can just cast and wind that joker, what we call straining water, and you can catch fish on it. But I would focus on that spinnerbait late fall into winter, and then late winter into early spring, and then low light conditions during the summertime until you get to where you can understand the variables and then do things like get very specialized with your spinnerbaits. Like right now, you can slow reel a Colorado blade fishing lure or a Colorado blade spinnerbait by putting in clear water, they get too good a look at it unless you contrast the blade. So I like to use hammered copper, or I like to color one side of the blade so when it's spinning, it's like blink, 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 and the fish doesn't get too good a look at it. And so anyway, that's kind of another video altogether to get into the nuances of spinnerbaits. But again, this is what we're going to do. Hey, Alexis and Olivia. Well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do seminar-style videos like this where we rapid-fire answer questions, and then I'll take a question. What I'll do is I'll ask everybody to stop commenting for a minute, and I'll go very in-depth about that particular topic. I'll have my shed set up with all my lures everywhere so I can grab the lures and start talking about the different things that you should do with it. The Whopper Plopper keeps popping up, and it's because I've really made it popular, by catching some big fish on it. The thing about the Whopper Plopper is it is not just a every condition type lure. I will get into a very detailed description of how I know to throw a Whopper Plopper, and when I know I'm going to catch big fish on it, or when I know to tell her and she's going to catch big fish on it. And so she is going to help me illustrate that point, and we're going to talk about it. But I see a lot of folks.
Just follow you around for a year and learn everything.
I see a lot of folks that
it takes longer than a year, I promise.
I see a lot of folks that take the Whopper Plopper and they just go out and blindly cast it and don't have success, and then they get discouraged. So I want to. Sean O'Connell said still didn't get a shout out for the video. I don't know what that means. Sorry, man.
But hey, Sean
comment
O'Connell.
back and tell me what it was I was supposed to shout out. I apologize. So one last thing, if you guys want to get an awesome experience, we are finishing up the season at Bienville Plantation with me, myself, and Fluke Master. It starts Thursday, November 30th. You guys can show up on the 30th. We're going to fish and do seminars and things like that. Thursday evening, Friday, and Saturday, and then you can hang out and fish for half of the day on Sunday. It's a great deal. It's all inclusive and all that good stuff. And so what we're going to do is we're going to finish up the video now. I'm going to put the link. Oh, let me finish this part. I'm going to put the link in the description box for Weigh-In Wednesday, the Kayak Bass Fishing group, for the Bienville Plantation seminar that starts not next week, but the following week. There's still time to sign up. If you know about this series, we cut off the end of the the second seminar because I have a conflict and Fluke Master has a conflict. So now we're only doing one seminar, and there's a couple of slots left. So if you're even slightly interested in that, call Jimmy down at Bienville and try to get yourself booked in for that. It's going to be a great experience. We're going to build on what we did last year, get a little bit more in depth. We're going to talk about a lot of the stuff we're talking about here. Gene and I are going to bring our tackle boxes, open them up, and go through when, where, why, how, and what to throw in every condition and every month of the year, and it's going to be an awesome deal. So we're staying a lot closer to home next year. I will have to travel for the opens. Now that we're added 2 extra opens, that's going to add a little travel back. But I'm going to focus on fishing. I'm going to focus on fitness, and I'm going to focus on shooting some stuff in the face. I'm turkey hunting next year. I'm deer hunting next year, and we are going to do a very in-depth analysis of individual lures next year. We're going to do the lure wars, one lure versus the other, and it's not really talking about why you shouldn't use one lure over the other one. It's going to be more of when you should use one lure and when you should use the other one, and why a lot of times one is used in the wrong place of the other one. And so anyway, that's kind of how that's working. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So John Bolton asked, since you're staying closer to home next year, have you thought about doing some seminars like Bienville, but closer to home, closer to that Middle Tennessee area? And we are looking for places actively, like just yesterday, looking for some places. So it is definitely going to happen. We are going to do some seminars closer to home, and then we're going to try to maybe even see if we can get the cost down just a little bit, since we don't have all the travel involved.
Listen, I understand that people can't afford, $1,500, and I'm going to try to make that more affordable. Part of what you're paying for there is obviously a trophy fishery. You're also paying for, 5-star meals for 3 days. You're paying for lodging. So it is all inclusive.
I feel like they could get 5-star meals from me.
I do feel like it's a great value. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it. But if we get Christy on board to handle hospitality. We get Gene to come over. We meet in the middle. We can do these seminar series a little bit more cost effective and a little bit more frequently, so folks have different opportunities and options. And then we're going to invite in some of our friends, you know, some of the guys that have had success: Matt Ball, Kurt Smits, Jay Wallen, Ron Champion, Craig Dye, AJ McWhorter, some of these guys that have really done well consistently for a number of years fishing kayak fishing tournaments, and that way we can add a little flavor and spice and
everything nice
into the whole seminar series. Haven't killed a deer yet this year, but I am going to leave next week, and I'm going to be digitally disconnected for like 3 days, and I'm going to sit in a deer stand and just get my mind right and chill out. And she's going to handle the...
He said he'd take a bologna sandwich.
She's going to handle
I'll
the
do a little bit more than bologna.
She's going to hold the fort down for me for kayak bass fishing for the next week, so I can go get in a tree and enjoy myself.
So a couple more things. Yes, we do go to the Knoxville area because that's kind of real close to where I'm from. So yes, we do go there. Another question that I wanted to just address very quickly, and this is just from my point of view. It's not necessarily Chad's point of view.
We are doing a KBF Young Guns next year, so thanks, Bill, for the question.
So somebody asked earlier, how do you handle public waters that are very, very pressured? We see you guys catching really big fish all the time, even in public high-pressured waters. The very easy answer from me, and I don't know if this is the professional answer or what he thinks, but
Lord.
Here it goes. But immediately I say, we get places where nobody else can go. So it doesn't matter how high pressured a place is. We just get different places, and the places that we go,
we literally fished with a guide on Toledo Bend, and he was asking me where I catch my big fish at, and I told him, and he guides there 200 plus days a year, and he was like, golly, man, I wish I could get back there. I'm like, you can. Get in a kayak, dude. So that's part of it. It's stealthy. It's quiet. We don't have a trolling motor running, so that has a lot to do with it. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's live video. We got to go get our fitness on. We got to be at the weigh-in for the Lake Cumberland Trail end of the year deal. And somebody asked about Bass Pro Shop. I am going to be doing some appearances for Columbia next year. It won't be a full-on seminar series, but I'm going to be doing some stuff like that at Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's, I think Sportsman's Warehouse, and a couple of other of the Columbia retailers. So anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all for stopping by.
Yeah,
I appreciate all your questions. I appreciate everything that y'all do and the support of the channel, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Where's the stop button?
I don't know.
Wait.
Why do we look
we
like
maybe can't stop. Maybe it won't let us quit.
Why does it look like we're in the 80s?
It won't let us quit.
I should have had big hair. Like really big jewelry and dark makeup.
We can't quit. Like the thing is not there. Like it won't. There's no finish button.
It's because we travel back in time.
YouTube has said you can't stop.
We traveled so far back in time
I cannot,
that there's no stop button.
It
it's
just
a warp.
Sorry. Oh, we're stuck. Man. Are you guys lying on the floor? No, that actually does kind of. Yeah, we got the screen
like
on
walking on the ceiling video again.
What a feeling!
We're going back in time.
No, we're not. That does kind of look like it now that you mention it.
Where?
Maybe we're holding the camera up above us and we're laying on the floor.
Why is the button not there?
The button.
Maybe if you just press your phone.
Press my phone.
Like a Polaroid.
What's bad is I knew what she said, what she meant about the whole thing.
Why does it look like it's so far back in time?
Because we're sitting in front of freaking angled. That's not paneling. That's like pine.
Look, we almost
walls.
have to do this to be straight.
Hey guys, we take the camera and like tilt it. We're on the lay back where it actually looks like we're on the floor.
It looks like we're on a pallet.
Hey, we're on the pallet on the floor. Anyway, thanks guys.
Where is this?
I'm gonna kill it now. I'm gonna hit the